Oh my God. I don't need a shrink. This is right here. We've got free counseling. And it is so true because you do judge yourself and you do judge yourself.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you wouldn't have recognized it in others or,
Right. Yeah.
when you say something is annoying to you, it's
Yes.
because you kind of notice it in yourself, right?
Yeah. What if you were to say, and today my neighbor was so great at this, and she was saying, oh, you do this, you do that. And she goes, I'm going to come from I. I do this. I do that. So what would the conversation be like for you to say I? Because right now and that I believe is where so much awareness and shift can come in whatever we're working on. It's so easy to say you in the third person, including everybody. We do this as women, yada, yada, yada. The moment we take ownership of that, wow. Real women, real lives, real stories. This is the Ladies in Power podcast. Unfiltered, unscripted, and refreshingly authentic. We're not holding back. And maybe after this, neither will you. Let's go. Welcome to the Ladies in Power podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about what's next. I had a beautiful walk with my neighbor, and she was sharing some things that were really important to her. She's in her early 70s and really talking about how important it is to have something to work towards, like what is next, whether we're retiring or our children have moved out or we've lost a spouse. I mean, there's so many different things that can happen in our life and we're shifting that identity. And what is next? It really getting us out of bed in the morning, something to get us excited about, something to work towards. Like this podcast for all of us is like something exciting. I know you were sharing in another episode, Mahsa, that you were so excited about this being part of your legacy project.
100%. Yeah, because after, like I was saying, my husband has the guitar and he has his all videos that he does and he puts on internet, and he said, oh, one day my grandchildren can look me up and they can see me. And I thought, well, if they look me up, they won't see nothing, there'll be nothing for them to see. So now I'm really, really happy that there will be us all dressed up like this, looking beautiful. Yeah, what's next? But I think before even we get there, like right now, there is this passion. Like when young people are talking nowadays, it's a lot about what's my passion. My children took a long time deciding what they wanted to do because the young people are taught there is a passion. When you were younger, did you think you would be who you are today? Like, was there a passion thing or did you just fall into your careers?
Oh, this is such a great question. I wanted to be a lawyer. I wanted to be a police officer. I wanted to be a teacher. I had no limits as a child to what I was going to be when I grew up. I wanted to be everything. And I mean, who says we have to choose one thing? And I didn't. This is my 8th career. This podcast is my 8th career. Yes. So I don't know if I'm ever focused on what's next so much as I have just the freedom to keep creating, keep innovating, keep rediscovering, because I'm a different woman every day. If I take what I've learned in the past and I bounce from pains and take my wisdom and experiences from previous experiences, I'm not the same woman. So I want to bring that and transfer those skills into something new. I'm always evolving. So yeah. How about you?
That's really crazy. When she said that, I'm like, wow. And I really want young people to hear this and how wonderful that is. Because I see a lot of them struggling, thinking, I don't know, I don't want to choose the wrong career. I don't want to, and they're almost paralyzed by this notion of there is one passion and you got to find it and you got to find it now. I knew I wanted to be a dentist, a doctor since I was 12 years old. younger, I remember going to my dad's office, looking at him and saying, this is what I wanted to be. No doubt. I didn't want to be anything else apart from being an actress. And my family put a stop on that right away. They're like, no, that's the same as being a prostitute. That's literally what my mom said. And I don't know why they said it, Meeka. I know I apologize to all the actors, actresses, models out there. That was just my family's really wrong interpretation that what did you have to do in order to make it successful? So my mom says, no, we're not doing that. This family is not producing an actress. But apart from that, I could always wanted to be a doctor, and I am, and I'm happy about that. And how about you?
So for me, when I'm thinking about my childhood, I recall a very imaginative child. So I used to play a lot of make-believe games. And some of those games were being a store clerk, and I'd have the Monopoly money, very elaborate setup in my room. Everything was priced. And my brother and a friend or whoever was sleeping over at the time would have to come in and be customers. And I just loved that. And my mom worked in a bank, a Royal Bank for many, many years. And I used to play bank teller. So I would get the Visa slips from the bank and I'd make my own Visa slips and really be a proper teller. I think I was just trying out all the roles that I saw around me. And so teacher was another big one. My brother and his friends would get roped into being my students and I would have these elaborate lesson plans. But when it came to really so those are probably my passions or maybe just things I was practicing. And then somehow passion never entered the story for me. I don't think that word even really was something I thought about. And then as I got older, I know that in my particular upbringing, being of an immigrant family, and in my particular family, so I'm not going to say this generalizing to other families, but in my particular family, safety was important. Financial safety was important. So really, I think there was this guidance to choose a profession that was deemed to be safe, secure, financially rewarding. And so I was on my path to becoming a doctor. And so I entered university with, the focus, I'm going to become a doctor. And for 3 years, that's where I was headed. I had a biology degree almost under my belt. And then as I was practicing to write the MCAT, I started imagining myself in that day-to-day role and realized, no, this is not for me. There's nothing about this that appeals to me. So then it was a bit of a panic about what do I want to be? What do I want to do? And I don't know that I considered passion at that stage of my life. Again, it was a safety thing. So from going into sciences, looking towards a medical degree, it was my dad who said, what about a dietitian? And I was like, what's a dietitian? I've never heard of that. He said it's similar. They work in hospitals. They help people. You're still in the healthcare. So I was like, okay, good, done. That's what I'm going to be. Did I evaluate whether it was my passion? I loved nutrition. I loved fitness. I loved, helping people. So it seemed to fit the bill in that regard. But that's sort of in terms of that younger influence in childhood, that's where it was. Yeah. So, but in terms of, what about for you?
So I don't know what I wanted to be an interior designer. I wanted to be a singer. I had all these different things that I wanted to do. But then later on, I wanted to help people. I wanted to help people. And I didn't know what I wanted to do in university. And I tried a different couple of things and I went into dietetics too. But after I went into dietetics, I started working at a nutrition store at our local mall in London. And I'm like, what if this is the part of nutrition that I want to do and not what I'm learning at school? So I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure. And then, but I did know that I wanted to help. I wanted to work as a lactation consultant. At one point. I started volunteering with moms, with moms and newborns, and I was helping them nurse. So I wanted to do a number of things, and I wanted to start right from babies. That's what I knew I wanted to do, and I just didn't know how to do it. And then I didn't really figure out what my passion was until maybe 10 years ago. Yeah.
I also like what Meeka said, that passion changes because you're not necessarily the same person. You would have made a great lawyer, Meeka. You would have.
Yes.
You would have. I could just see a whole series and episodes being made with Meeka as the lawyer. You would have been amazing.
What do you see in her that would make a great lawyer?
I don't know, just the way she carries herself, and she's very, very attention to detail, which is what you need to be in order to be a lawyer. Like, if she would have said an artist, I would have said that would be great too, because then again, it's something that you have to be concentrated on. But yeah, I think it's her attention to detail, that everything has to be perfect, which is the way my husband is, by the way. So I recognize it in other people. Me, I just throw everything in the pot and just hope to God that it will come out right. But yeah, so that would have made her. And the fact that she talks really well and she's very articulate. So a lawyer would have been great, but too boring for you, Meeka. I don't think you would have, I don't think you would have loved sitting in an office. But yeah, going back to what we were all talking about, yes, now a lot of young people are, what is my passion? They're all torn about that. And now leaving young people, we kind of do careers for many years. And now at my age, I'm looking at retiring. And I'm thinking, well, the only reason I'm not retiring is, what am I going to do? Like, what am I going to do exactly to get out of bed every day to make myself, like today, my husband looked at me and he said, "Oh, wow, you look really pretty. Where are you going?" And I'm thinking, so that means every other day I don't. And that's exactly it. I don't, because I'm excited about coming to this podcast and I take time to put on makeup, and even though you can't smell it, I have perfume on, okay? So all of this,
Very nice. Very nice.
all of this is because I'm excited to be here with these four beautiful women and creating something. And if I'm not doing this every day, well, I'm semi-retired at work. So what is getting me up in the morning? And what do ladies who have sold businesses and no longer have kids at home are doing, thinking, wanting?
I started pondering this question, I think 2 years before our youngest was going to complete high school, because I could see that I was feeling really sad, actually. That's what it was. I was feeling this sadness come over me. And I would look for their baby photos and I would stare at them, and I would start going through, the albums, and I'd get teary-eyed because I could feel that, there's this big change coming. And I would look at women in the grocery store who had little toddlers, calling it the mommy, mommy, mommy. And moms, you're frustrated because you have so much going on. And I just would look at them and I'd say, I remember those days. And it's so good to have that little one just reaching for you. And as that was coming to an end for me, oh my gosh, I was feeling very sad, really sad. And I could see that I was going to start missing this what I perceived to be a need from other people. So that was maybe a role, because I was something for someone. And I went through a phase of that. And then there was then slowly you start to think, well, what can I do to shift out of this feeling? Because the sadness, I don't want to feel this for the rest of my life. And then there became some intention about, what is it that I can see myself doing when I'm not in mom role 100% of the time.
Yeah.
And then there came a shift where that became really exciting. Like really exciting, because now is back to my imagination, which, is the feminine. We're feeling that feeling of, I get to explore what it is that is going to really make my heart sing. And one of the decisions that came out of that was actually letting go of my traditional dietitian job.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that was a step I had to take in order to clear the space for me to be able to envision something else coming in. And so there's so much to say on this topic, like so much, but I'll let one of you ladies chime in here.
So it started for me when my youngest went into kindergarten. I remember the first day of school, and she was excited and I was a mess. And literally I had to stop the tears and allow her to go in, and I had turned around and I was literally sobbing. I was sobbing. And my friend Bella came up to me and she's like, "Gurvinder," I'm like, I'm okay. I'm just sending her into kindergarten. And my husband is like, come on, let me take you out for breakfast. So he took me out. We went out to this wonderful place, the Palliser out in Calgary for breakfast. And we hung out there. And I felt really bad for him because I wouldn't stop crying. I was in tears and all the waiters are just staring at me. And my husband's like, our daughter just started kindergarten. And so I literally had tears. I was crying the whole time. But thank you so much for taking me out for breakfast. And it started there. And I started thinking to myself, so my youngest of 4 is in kindergarten now. And next year she's going to be in full-time school. What do I do with myself? I've been a stay-at-home mom for so many years.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when the juices started coming out. All the creative juices. I'm like, what do I want to do with myself? And that's when I got into Qigong. I read this amazing book by Mark Won. It Didn't Start With You. Trauma, It Didn't Start With You. And that led me to EFT. And it led me to meditations. And here I am today. So thank you to my youngest for spurring this.
So, Meeka, I know you've always said in the past that, every project you take is like a child, that this was like giving birth. So every time you left a position, were you sad or did you kind of feel in your gut it's time?
It's never a conscious choice to leave. It's really one evolving to the next. I mean, my modeling career, someone asked me to audition for a commercial, and then the commercial went really great. And from the commercial, somebody asked me to audition for one line in a film. And that film ended up, they gave me the lead role from a one-liner. And so everything just kind of evolved. And then in that industry, I was working on a film set with Jackie Chan and Jennifer Love Hewitt, and somebody was having a conversation about music. And someone said, Meeka's also a singer, because I had sang all through my youth. It saved my life many times, singing. And for all of you listening, singing heals you. There's so much science behind it. If you're in a lousy mood or you're ill, song vibration through the body can help to heal you. And I swear, Cyndi Lauper got me through my teenage years. Shout out to my BFF Joanne. And so, yeah, we used to sing it to the top of our lungs. And in that music, it really led to that. So that conversation on that film set introduced me to somebody who was looking for a new artist to produce. And so I drove to Montreal. I was back in Toronto at that time. And I drove to Montreal to meet with my dad, and we recorded a single in his studio, much like where we are right now. And that single I delivered to this producer, and the producer chose me over about 8 different artists.
Wow.
And from there, we went to BMG and recorded an album. And then I was in New York City, and then my producer was hit by a car and ended up succumbing to his injuries and died. We never finished the record. I went to Bora Bora to do a timeout and met somebody in Bora Bora and fell in love and decided to move there. So I closed up my life and I moved to Bora Bora, and then I sang. I toured as a singer to big hotels all over the South Pacific. And so everything has just gone to the next. And when I came back from the South Pacific, I was not feeling well. And that's when I started to study nutrition to heal my body. And I became a holistic nutritionist. I got certified to become a nutritionist and saved my own life, and hence explanted my breast implants that were legitimately killing me. So everything, I think I allow the universe, God, source, whatever, to direct me. And I don't say no to those things. I love to say yes to whatever comes along and just trust that I am where I'm supposed to be. So I didn't have one, focus my whole life. And yet I think at the same time, it's always been to add value. It's been to entertain. It's been to yeah. And here we are in the podcast now.
So what happened to the guy in Bora Bora?
Oh, well, that's
Side note, sidebar.
yeah.
Did we leave him in the islands or?
Well, we had an extraordinary time together. He played guitar and I sing, and I got homesick, and I didn't want to come back to Toronto. Because after living in Bora Bora, no disrespect to those the French Polynesian, but we nicknamed it Boring, because as stunning as it is, when you grow up the way I have, living in a big city and traveling the world, being in one little island, which I was living on the island of Morea, which is 27 kilometers around. And of course, I rescued dogs and cats and rehomed them. And it was, I sang 7 nights a week. It was amazing. And anyway, I got we moved to Vancouver. Somebody said Vancouver's like halfway between Bora Bora and Toronto, the hustle bustle.
Mm-hmm.
And so we came here together and started a life which lasted about 5 months together, and realized, he's from France and loved the island life. And the city just wasn't for him. And we had fun for a couple of years, really. And so he went back to France, and God bless him, got married, has 2 beautiful children. And and then I met Sean about 4 months after he left. So, one door closes, another one opens. Gosh, that was almost 19 years ago. Almost 19 years I've been with Sean now. And the music industry here in Vancouver was not fantastic. I pounded the pavement, so to speak, to some of the casinos and the nightclubs, and there was no money in music here.
No.
So I went back to the film industry, and that's when I noticed that my health was flailing, and that's when I started Ladies in Power, actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
that's truly, we didn't know all of that about
Yeah.
Meeka. We
Right.
didn't know any of that.
it's
How
20 years in 5
exciting.
minutes.
Yeah. This is one of the things, actually, I have to say I really admire and love about you, is just the life you've led, because I feel like you've led what I'm just
full
learning
life.
to do now, but I feel like your whole life has been flowy and all about the synergy of the universe, and letting the universe come to you and trusting whatever the universe brings to you. And what a remarkable life. Like, I already can see that you would fill several books with great stories, because you've allowed that freeness and that trust to kind of lead you on the way. I really, truly admire that. And I find it really inspiring.
Thank you.
And so I feel like I'm just starting to kind of venture out into that way of living. And it's so much more fun. Yeah.
Thank you. Well, like they say, the grass is always greener on the other side,
they
because
do.
I sit here with these extraordinary women with, successful careers and all the glory that comes with that. I would say consistency, or just focus, like not moving, being in one place, for lack of a better word, and being able to focus on something, and then you get really good at it, and you can save more, and you can invest better, and you can build deeper friendships. Whereas the fluidity, yes, it has amazing, and I do my best to focus on that, because if I'm like, comparison is the thief of joy.
Yes,
Yeah.
And oh my
100%.
gosh, I need to remind myself that. Even just the last few days, I've been finding myself in comparing, to some other women in my lives. And I really need to not do that, because it never ends well.
Yeah.
So thank you for the opportunity to dig into some of what I've gone through, because it is a reminder, like, we can take from our strengths. And when we remember how strong we are and the things that we've done and built and created, from that place, and really only from that place, can we create something new that we can be proud of. We must go into those places where, if we're talking about what's next, let's look at what we've created so far,
Yes.
get excited about it, connect to that place. And from there, yes, what's next? I can be anything, do anything, have anything, create anything. And
Yeah. I thought I was that mom that when my kids left, I would be like high-fiving myself and being so joyful because they were always home. They were always home. Even when they went to university, they came back home. And then Nirvana, our daughter, went to New York and she started doing her own thing, God bless her. But I still had the baby at home. I call him baby because wherever I went, I would say something like, my kid is in the car, and they would be looking like, you left the kid all by himself. I'll be like, no, he's 25, right? Like, it was so used to calling him.
Because you look 35
Well,
and they think your
thank you,
kid is
Meeka.
5.
No, it's just the way that in my head, he was still my baby.
Yeah.
And even though he resented that, like, Mom, don't baby me, he would still come home. He would have his full day. But now that he's fully gone, it is hard, man. It's hard. I go into his room and I'll say something like, good night, baby, and he's not there. I am not crazy. I am not certifiable. I don't want you guys to worry. But I do shit like that. Or I just like where he usually plays his little computer game, I'll say something like, who's winning, kiddo? And he's not even there. And I kind of went, Mahsa, get it together. Like, there is so much to do. You're still relatively young, and thank you for that compliment, Meeka. Like, why are you sitting here talking to an empty room, feeling so sorry for yourself? Plus, it doesn't do them service. They don't want that mom that's, oh, I miss you and crying and stuff like that. The first month, I was just like sending him sad emojis, and then I kind of went, okay, that's enough. I think the kid got it.
Yeah.
And now I am looking out, like, what is interesting to me, like dressing up. So maybe I can have a consignment store, or maybe I can do something with, I don't know, exchanging clothes or having a company that does that. So you don't even have to have a lot of capital if you're smart. And I think that's where Meeka is really smart, because she connects women and she connects businesses, and that way she kind of finds her own way of different opportunities. With only doing one thing all your life, you're not as, I guess, savvy. You've only done one thing for all of your life. So did you ever actually go to the bank and become a teller? Or was it just all in your head? Like, you would have made the cutest teller.
I would have made the best teller.
Teller.
Because
The best one.
because I love customer service.
Yeah.
I love customer service. I love people coming in and being overly enthused about the service they got. Like coming in and
Yeah.
expecting a grumpy whoever, but then being like, wow, she was so great. I would have been great in any customer service. So, like,
Did you do it?
no, I did not.
How about a hotel?
There's so many possibilities. So
Okay.
I am like talking to you today, I realize there's still another sad phase potentially coming for me, because my kids, I think, are in I'm in a sweet spot with my kids.
Yes.
They're both in university.
Yes.
So they go away for the 8 months, but they live in Vancouver, and now they're back and it feels like they've never left. So I
Yeah.
really enjoy that. But my husband and I were saying yesterday, I said, I'm kind of feeling disconnected from you. And he was like, I go, are we okay? And he goes, he thinks about it. I think about it. He's like, oh yeah, we're okay. It's just our kids are home. I'm like, oh, that's what it is. We got used to our one-on-one time, our walks, our talks, our conversations.
That's code for being sexy together. Dr. San, we know what you get to when the kids are not at home.
Oh my goodness. No comment. But the kids are home and we love playing board games. So every 5 minutes, hey, who wants to play Monopoly Deal, right? So my time is just having fun with them, and plus, obviously, all of us. But we did notice that shift. So what I'm realizing in talking to you is that there is a moment when they both kind of go maybe for a really long stretch, and I have to think about that. But my strategy is for myself to just immerse in the things that are calling out to me. So, and we talked about, not being the mom that when they call, we're like, oh, how's your day? And asking them all about their day. And when it comes to, well, how are you? I didn't want to be the one that said, oh, I'm okay. I'm okay.
Yeah.
I did this and I did that. But when they ask me that during the school year, it's been really great to say, oh my gosh, thanks for asking. I did this today and I did that today and I'm doing this tomorrow and this is coming up. And they're always like, wow, you're doing so much. Even our daughter, she wrote me a card recently saying, I am not afraid of getting old because I realize, look through you, that it's actually really fun. Like you're in your 50s and you are having the most fun that I think I've seen you have ever. And
Oh, wow.
that makes me feel really good that I'm role modeling that it's not over once you hit a certain age or stage of life. It's just beginning in many cases. So I really do have that intention to to convey that, to myself and to other women and to obviously our children.
Our children,
Yeah. And I've been hearing something recently, this concept of being invisible at this stage or age
Yeah.
of life. Have any of you come across this?
Yes, yes. Yeah, invisible, because your husband doesn't see you. He's busy doing his own thing. The kids no longer see you because they're busy doing their own thing. So now you have no purpose.
And I even heard it from like a societal point of view that women our age are not seen.
Hell no. Hell no.
And,
We
yeah,
have. I call it hell no too.
So do I.
I
So
think
do I.
it's
gonna
just
be
it's a victim mode. It's just if you want to be seen, you got to be seen. You're going to be seen. Get out and network, join groups, join a sports team, go join a makeup club, sing, join a choir. There's so many ways to be seen. It's easy to sit in front of the television or scroll on your phone and feel invisible. We got to take ownership. We got to take ownership and get out and get busy. And that's, it's just a victim. It's an excuse. And I think I call it bullshit.
Yeah. So that's a unanimous hell no from all four of us.
I know where
really
that
is.
came from. There's actually a series called Matlock on TV right now.
Mm-hmm.
And the main actress, whom I absolutely adore, Katie Bates,
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
she's marvelous. She said it few episodes several times. Women our age become invisible, so nobody notices us. But when she says that, at the same time, she's sticking it to the bad guys.
Yeah.
So she's really actually a badass, but she's just saying that the perception is that we're invisible. But I'm with Meeka. I think you're as visible as you want to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I think how we dress and our energy determines how old we are.
Amen.
Like some women are in their 60s and you look at them and you go, sister, you don't need that frumpy skirt because she looks 80. And then some women are in their 60s and they got their tight jean, they've got their makeup on, and you're like, is she 20? Like I can't see where she's at.
Yeah.
So energy really matters, right? Like how you
Agreed.
show up.
Yeah.
And it can be as easy as if you don't know what you want to do, go volunteer. Go volunteer everywhere. And go volunteer here for a month or another area for a month and really figure out what it is that you want to do. So when it is time to put a little bit of investment in there, you know what you want to be doing. You've found your passion, perhaps.
Is that what you did?
No.
Did you ever volunteer anytime?
Well, I used to volunteer during university and high school, and after that, once we moved to Alberta, I just didn't have a chance to
4
to
daughters.
volunteer. Yeah, 4 kids, and then 2 under the age of 13 months right from the get-go, and it was.
But that's
It was
a
a lot.
brilliant suggestion. Honestly,
Yeah.
I got it. It is brilliant because when I was 15 to 17, I volunteered in old people homes. You feed them and I knew what I absolutely did not
Yes.
want.
There you go.
So
Beautiful.
at least you know what you don't
Yeah.
want. These people didn't have anyone coming to visit them. You had to feed them. I just can't work in an environment like that. And I knew that. And all the kudos to all the people who are in old age homes and they're helping and there is a huge need out there. I salute you. And the same with nurses. I knew I could never
yes.
be a nurse.
Mm-hmm.
Like working in hospitals, the kind of abuse these ladies take from patients. I mean, really? I would be hitting them with their own urinating pants. And I'm like, you take care of this. Like, honestly, they do so much and they're so thinly spread. I like all the kudos, but I knew I couldn't do that. So if you volunteer, you can tell what you love and also what you absolutely don't love.
Are you a people person?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Are you a service person?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, do you like the 9 to 5? Do you want to start something for yourself? Like, when you volunteer, or maybe you can shadow someone.
Yeah.
So my husband has a couple of people shadowing him.
Mm-hmm.
Do I want to go into dentistry?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So I think it's really important that we put ourselves, we dress ourselves up, we put makeup on if we choose, we do our hair, and we put on the heels, and we go outside and we volunteer. And we decide what we want to do. But I think a big aspect of it is, like you were saying before, let's dress up.
Dressing up was a huge thing. When
Yes.
I first graduated, it was many, many lectures were given by all kinds of experts. Dress for success. Dress, I always went to work with makeup on. My hair was always done in a bun, pulled back with a flower that matched my uniform. You had to dress up. It was expected. Your CDA, your assistant, your receptionist, we all dressed up. I don't know when that changed, but some days I look and I go like, even to some of our doctors, like, ladies, you needed to put maybe at least a mascara on. They look like they really had a rough week or whatever. But in my day, it wasn't acceptable for ladies to show up in frumpy pants or without makeup. Like, makeup was a big thing for us. Now, I'm not saying it's good or bad. I mean, maybe a lot of ladies object to that and they want to go to work, without anything in. But I think the point is we looked like we wanted to be there.
Yeah, and we put that extra effort in.
Yeah.
It's saying, I'm ready.
Yes.
My opinion, I am ready for the day.
Yes.
And this is how I want to come. And this is how I come.
And do you remember guys were supposed to dress for success? Like they were even talking suits and jackets and do you guys know, is it just in my head? Because you're all younger than me, so I don't know. Maybe the 5 or 10 years I have on, I was there in the workforce before you guys. That was the big thing, how you should shine your shoes as a man, how you had your jacket, even the lapel had to match. Like, the guys took pride in dressing up. And now I think it's kind of sad. I mean, these guys are geniuses. I'm not knocking you people. You're way more intelligent than I am. But you sometimes look at these kids showing up for work and you go, is that a pajama? Like, I'm not sure if you forgot to put on your pants or if that's supposed to be your pants. It's just like a whole different thing that I'm not used to. But yeah, I kind of like it when I go to Europe and all the guys are dressed up, especially Italian men. Mucho gracias. Like, they're so handsome and they've got the colors going on. And I don't know, I think we should go back to a little bit of that, taking pride and waking up and taking a shower. And even if we're not going to work, even if we're looking for our next best thing, maybe taking that 5 minutes to look presentable.
Yeah, definitely something to consider for sure.
Well, I don't know, Meeka, you're in the industry. What's happening with that? Like, is the polish looking or
I'm not in that industry anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, I just have my personal opinion. And I also know that, based on the 6 human needs that we learned from Tony Robbins, that we all get our significance in different ways.
Yeah.
And so some people will get significance by looking sharp, and some will get significance by driving a Ferrari, and some by driving a Pinto with tape, holding up the rear view mirror. And we all have different ways of getting our significance. And I don't believe there's any right or wrong way. Sure, if you're going to work every day and you're serving the public, it would be great to take note of your appearance and dress for success. And I also recognize that that's not important to everyone
anymore.
And to honor that maybe that's their comfort zone. And there's also, we never know what's happened to people, because one of my careers is clinical counseling and working through with people in addiction. And in people that are working through addiction, often addiction is a coping mechanism, a whole different episode. However, when we're coping, it's often from things that have happened in childhood, whether it's neglect or some sort of sexualized abuse or physical abuse. And then we can grow up not wanting to bring attention to ourselves because that puts us at risk of being raped or being beaten, or you're comparing yourself to me. So there's always, a story. And that comes back to one of our themes with Ladies in Power, is to be curious. And that's kind of what comes up for me, is to get curious about why somebody would feel the need to dress up and somebody to not want to dress up, because then also is like the need to dress up might have another story behind it of feeling invisible or attaching their worth to their clothing versus their mind. So there's a lot of different, it reminds me of something with my husband when we first one conversation that I had, and I noticed that I shower in the morning and he showers at night because he builds houses and he's working physically, sweating, and can be covered in insulation or dust or whatever have you. And so he comes home and he showers at night. Me, I wake up and I'm sticky from sleeping and I want to shower in the morning. And it's not that one is better than the other or right or wrong. There's a story behind it. And it's getting curious about what's behind it, and then having compassion comes from understanding.
Mm-hmm.
Judgment comes from not having an understanding of the person that's in front of you. And it's very easy to judge and to get upset and to take things personally. I'm very guilty of that on so many occasions, until I stop and I think about the bigger picture and so that's kind of where
you're from. And that right there, guys, it's why it's so lovely to come to work, if you call this that. Because, it's absolutely right. And I never thought about it like that. In me raising up, getting dressed was like show up, be present, all of that. And you're right. There's definitely, like, when my kids tell me, Mom, you're so judgy. And I go, no, I'm not. I don't ever judge anyone. Right there, I just realized, yeah, if you walk in with your pajama, I'm judging you. But what I don't realize is exactly what Meeka said. Maybe they don't want to draw attention to themselves. Maybe that's caused them a problem in the past. And so it's really, to me, it's amazing to have another person's point of view. And what I'm learning is, like, yes, be curious rather than judgmental. That's really hard for me to do, because it's just, I just got to take a breath for a second and say, zip it. And me and my husband, we think the same. We both would be looking at the poor guy saying, change the bloody pajamas into a nice pair of pants, and then we both laugh and we think we're so funny. So it's nice to have somebody else that has a total disagreement with that idea and kind of have to think about it and say, yeah, you're right. You're right too.
Yeah. I had a minor epiphany about judgment earlier this year, I think. And it was that if I was judging others, and I think probably we all do on occasion. I think we all do. But it dawned on me that I don't want to be judgmental.
No.
I don't really like the feeling of being judgmental. And all of a sudden I had this epiphany that I must be judging myself in some way, shape, or form. And when I really thought about it on a deeper level, indeed I was. I was being very judgmental with myself, not even realizing it all these years. And once I started to kind of pull out, what am I judging? Where does that come from? Where are the words that I'm hearing in my head? Where do they come from? And as I started to pull them out and really think about them, and then ideally I was releasing some of them. So I noticed that as I became less judgmental of myself, somehow or another, my outlook on judgment also diminished. I was far less aware of judging others. That desire just went away, because immediately if I caught myself judging someone else, it made me think, ooh, you still got judgment about yourself. So it's kind of like my signage or postage that says, go inside and pull out your judgment. Look at yourself. What are you judging in yourself? Because only then will you judge others. So that is something that I used with the judgment piece that I found really helpful. And I think it's also allowed me to be so much kinder to myself.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really powerful.
That really is. Oh my God. I don't need a shrink. This is right here. We've got free counseling. And it is so true because you do judge yourself and you do judge yourself.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you wouldn't have recognized it in others or, you know?
Yeah.
You know, when you say something is annoying to you, it's
Yes.
because you kind of notice it in yourself, right?
Yeah.
What if you were to say, and today my neighbor was so great at this, and she was saying, oh, you know, you do this, you do that. And she goes, I'm going to come from I. I do this. I do that. So what would the conversation be like for you to say I? Because right now and that I believe is where so much awareness and shift can come in whatever we're working on. It's so easy to say you in the third person, including everybody. We do this as women, yada, yada, yada. The moment we take ownership of that, wow.
It really allows us to, or encourages us to look in. So if
Encourages me to look in
me,
as an example.
Yeah.
to look in,
It's powerful.
Yeah.
especially I have 2 kids in post-secondary school, 2 kids in high school. And so my plate is full. However, as a female, I want to do other things. And so I put myself in that position, I think almost 10 years ago, when I said, what do I want? What is it that I want? What gets me going in the morning? What allows me, what am I passionate about? What energizes me? And it all came down to I love helping others. And I think we all can do that. And like you said, I am now an energy psychology practitioner. I am a quantum EFT practitioner. I am a Qigong practitioner. I am an awakened mind peak performance practitioner. And 10 years ago, if you had asked me what would I be doing when I turned 50, this would not be on my radar. None of this. Podcasting, forget about it. So it's when we, like all these wonderful ladies have said, when we look in and start using I, and what if we used I am? I am. Who knows what's going to happen? Who knows what you are going to be able to accomplish? And instead of saying, you have this, you have that, let's turn it upside down, put it on ourselves and say, I am this.
I want to share a story.
Yay.
Story time.
I want to actually admit something and then share a story. So I always say, oh, I believe in universe. Universe always has my back. And I don't really always act on that. Like, say, for example, this whole thing with Nader going to Australia. You guys were all there. I was trying to push this or push that. And, you know, I kind of said I believe the universe, but I don't. But really, like Meeka was saying, things come your way. And if you just let them. Anyways, this is my story. Yesterday I wake up, I have a million things to do. I don't even drive my other car as much, my convertible, but I'm driving my car and this sign comes on. I have a flat tire. So I'm like, oh, this is just great. You know, now I'm stressing. Am I going to stop somewhere? Is it going to... I phone the company and I go, do I have warranty on this tire? I call Mercedes and I go, do I have tire? And they said, we'll get back to you. Probably not today. We don't know. So that's up in the air. And I'm like, should I have the tire patch? Should I have it fixed? Where do I go? Anyways, as I'm thinking and driving, and my sense of direction is worse. If you tell me go north, I'll park the car and I'll cry. Like, tell me towards the mountain, towards the water, go where McDonald's is. Don't tell me north, south, east, or west. I don't know. So I take a wrong turn and I'm trying to figure out how to get out of this. And I literally I go into this narrow street and there's cars parked to my left and cars parked to my right. And my car is beeping, beep, 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 because if you're close to other cars, the bloody thing just beeps. And I'm like, be quiet. I'm just trying to go past this. And this really young, good-looking guy, all greased up, comes to me and says, can I help you? And I go, well, not unless you know about tires. And he goes, well, actually, I do. This is a tire company. And I look up and there it says, that I don't even remember the tile company's name, but I think the guy's name was Kyle. And I go, well, look. And I put my window down. I go, look at that sign. Make it go away, right? Because that's how I do things. And he looks at it. He goes, well, if you step out, I can help you. So I step out and he gets in. He gets rid of the sign. And then he says, well, okay, just turn your wheel a little bit my way. And he looks at my wheel and he goes, oh, yeah, you got a nail. And I go, well, do something about that. And I have no appointment. The poor guy just happened to come out for a smoke break. And
My goodness.
so next thing I know, he's taking the screw out of my tire. He pushed this thing inside and plugged it all up and put more air into there. And thank you so much. It was so very much appreciated. And today I could show up stress-free. And I had no intention. I didn't look up tire places. I didn't know where I was going. I took a wrong turn. And thank you, sweet white baby Jesus. Like, I don't know what else you want me to say, you know. It was just amazing how it all unfolded. So there is something to be said for paying attention. If you do want to know what your passion is, what's tweaking? What are you looking at? What signs are attracting you? Who comes your way? Who proposes something? Who says, let's do whatever? Like Meeka said to the three of us. So maybe that's supposed to be your passion, and you can't always just figure it out in the beginning. Maybe it is go with the flow.
Yeah, and maybe there are hints in the beginning, you know, because when I think back to my childhood and the things that I loved to play, well, guess what? I got a really big hint. I was meant to be an entrepreneur. That's really what lit up my heart, was being an entrepreneur, and in that, all the creativity. And, you know, for so much of my life, I would say, I'm not creative. I'm very science-oriented. Like, that was a black and white label. It couldn't be one and the other. I just limited myself and said, no, I'm very black and white, very science-oriented. But that's not true. That's not true at all. And the story, like you always talk about the narratives and the stories we tell ourselves. And friends would always say, but you're so creative. And I'd be like, what are you talking about? But I am so creative. And when I think back to that store and the meticulous detail that went in as a 7-8-year-old to setting up shop, and the pride that I took and the way all the little things were arranged on my shelves, and I just loved it so much. And so I realized that's really what I meant to pursue. And I see these different avenues opening up now where that creativity and that entrepreneurship is starting to flourish. And these ideas of customer service and creating. So I'm creating something right now. And I thought I was creating one thing, but actually what's really lit me up is the process of knowing that I've probably made 1,000 decision points so that a user will come in and not even know why this is so smooth for them. They're just going to come in. And this translates to any social events we host. And the joy I take in making sure that the bathroom is stocked with mints and, you know, all these little things that I think
stickers on the hand
soap gives me so much joy. And the flow, like when you come into an event and there's a flow and people know exactly, oh, I go here for a drink and there's the food and she said to, you know, do whatever. I love that everyone feels that that's easy without knowing that, there was thought put into. So these are the things I'm learning about myself. And now where that takes me, I'm like, universe, I'm open. Take me wherever it's meant to take me. And it has started taking me to very cool things. Another thing that I've talked about in the past is how when I'm talking with girlfriends, we've seen the sun come up. You know, we just get into it. And even here we have to we're podcasting. Let's save this. We do it all the time. And now here I am on a podcast with 3 other women, and the energy around it and the enthusiasm of it from people that are finding out about it has just blown me away, because it's another thing that doesn't feel like effort.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing to pay attention to, is what has, what flows. Once we're here in these chairs, we have to agree that this flows.
Yes.
The lead up to
Yeah.
it, the technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties.
Technical
We
difficulties.
hate that. And thank you, Tom. I mean, that was
Yeah.
another universe giving us a gift. I
Yeah.
mean, this man's studio just showed up, and here we are.
Here we
and-
are. Yeah. But to our
Yeah.
credit, we were willing and, really happy to try it out. And we said we're going to keep it real. And so this is an example of us keeping it real. But yeah, so for me, another, clue was childhood. What did I do in childhood when I was so free to just be me before, things were put in like safety and security and financial minimal risk? It was just, what was I doing as a kid in that free spirit? And now I see myself reconnecting to that child, that little one. And now she's doing it, but in adult world. It's really exciting. It's really exciting.
And you're so good at the details, and
Oh,
it lights you up
yes.
so
It
much.
lights me
I
up.
mean, we just had the privilege of going to her home for a party, and it was, all the details. And that's your customer service coming
Yes.
through.
Yeah.
You're
It is.
actually going through with, I mean, that would have been wasted as a bank teller.
It was amazing. It was a launch of our podcast, and she just took it. And I don't know how many times I said to her, "You sure about this?"
Yeah.
And when we went there, it was amazing.
Oh,
Stunning.
extraordinary.
The
Every
balloons, the
detail. Oh,
backdrop,
my
the-
gosh.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
From the valet
Yes.
to
Oh,
the red
everything.
carpet and the backdrops for photos and the food and the flowers and oh my gosh, it was magnificent.
It was
Thank
magnificent.
you, guys.
Yeah.
But for me, that was not work.
Mm.
Like
Wow.
that just for me just comes together. Really. Like it. So that's what I'm starting to pay attention to, is what hurts your brain. Maybe that's not your thing, but what you find easy that others are commenting. So I started paying attention.
Mhm.
The friends have always along the way said these things to me, but I just kind of was like, no, I don't think so. I remember at our kids' school, I was asked to chair the gala. Yeah, our gala.
Yeah.
So the lady that organizes it, I remember she came up to me. She's like, "Oh, yes, Mrs. Bhatha, we would love to have you chair our gala." And I looked at her and I said, "No, I'm Sandeep. I don't know if you have me confused with someone else. I don't know who you're thinking of, but I'm definitely not your gala girl." And she's like, "No, I know who you are." And I said, "Oh, you definitely don't know my skills and my talents then." She looked at me. She's like, "Okay." So flat out refused. I was like, no, that's not my thing.
Wow.
And to her credit, she didn't give up on me. I think about 5 years later, she kind of pulled me in again. But this time I was in my curious phase, right? So I'm like, let me talk to you about, what do you see in me that you think I could help you with a gala? Like, really, do you know who I am? So she came in, or I went into her office and I said, what do you see in me? Tell me. Then she listed it and I was like, oh, yeah, that's totally me. Is that all it needs? Is that what you need? And she goes, yeah. And she goes, it's not easy to come by. And I said, well, I totally see myself being that person. And sure enough, I took it on with a whole team. It was a committee. It wasn't just me, but we had a blast. We had a blast, and it was
Did that
successful.
for Southridge 1 year?
2 years.
No
Wow.
way.
Yeah.
That's
My kids went to that
amazing.
school,
Yeah.
and I didn't even know that.
Yeah, that's okay. But the point
Wow,
is,
that's amazing.
so even my kids' school was able to share with me what they saw in me that I didn't see for myself. And so when we talk about discovering what's next, you've got a network of people, your children, your partners, your colleagues, your friends. And if we ask them, I bet you they have so many
good ideas.
traits and qualities and strengths that they can make a list of that we would say, really? But it's there.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I agree. They truly have great insight.
Mm-hmm.
And it's our job, like what you did, is tell me more. What am I not seeing?
Mm-hmm.
That's our job.
Yeah. But it's and then again, you come from that, I feel like right from the beginning, where you just have this openness and you are just letting the signs lead you so beautifully. It
Yeah,
really
Mika, you're
is.
very lucky that you have that or you've had that. Yeah, you say everything is perspective, right?
Yeah.
Here we are, maybe the three of us was more put in a box than
Mhm.
she was.
Mhm.
And we're looking at her and going, oh my God, she was
Yeah.
free. She could
Yeah.
have been anybody she wanted to.
Yeah.
And she's looking at us with our little boxes and thinking, well, I kind of would have liked a little bit more structure.
Your boxes are bigger.
We like our boxes. Yeah, but I know exactly what Sandeep is talking about. When it came to careers, our parents always chose something that was safe. Even being a doctor, I was accepted in medical school as well as dental school.
Mm.
And I remember my dad saying, well, you don't want to be in medical school because you're on call all the time.
Mhm.
Whereas with dentistry, you do 9 to 5 and you go home. Everything had kind of its pluses and minuses, and they kind of put it out there and kind of pushed you in a certain direction. Not necessarily good or bad. It was just there.
Mhm.
And I'm really glad that I'm a dentist because our doctors go through a lot. And I don't think they're half as appreciated as they should be. So I'm glad about the choice that was sort of made for me. But going back to your comment about when we're children, we can be anybody.
Mhm.
And I think I saw this somewhere. You're a child, or maybe Meeka said it. I don't remember. You're. Or no, it was Diane. Diane, my office manager. Kudos to her. You want to be a cowboy. You put on a hat, you grab a broom, and there you
that's
go.
right.
You're a cowboy,
That's
and off
right.
you go. And or you want to be an astronaut, and there you are. And in the exhibit that me and you went, there
Right.
was an artist
Yes.
that had a little boy who wanted to be an astronaut.
Yes.
And the boy had tattered clothes with this bucket on his head, and underneath it said dream. And he wanted to be an astronaut, and there he was. And then we get older and we want to be a cowboy, and we go, but we don't have a horse and we don't have the right hat. And how about the cowboy? We put all these restrictions on ourselves. And you want to be an astronaut, but I'm not tall enough, or they're not going to let me in, or you need so many hours of not puking before you can go into the chamber, or whatever. All that heaviness comes with it. And yet, when you are a child, you can dream and be whoever you want it to be. And I really think that that has a huge part of paying attention to your heart and what it's saying to you. And are you listening or not? So, ladies, if you've already done it all, if you're a successful entrepreneur already, or still haven't figured it out and you're in your 50s and 60s, maybe just go within, listen to your heart, and maybe the signs that come your way, and see what is universe is sending your way that you haven't been seeing.
And say yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And say yes. I don't want to be on my deathbed at 80, 90, 100, 120, 140, whatever it is with
is.
science. I do not want to be there saying, I shoulda, coulda, woulda. I wish I had. You know what? We're taught at a very young age that failure is wrong and failure is bad, and to avoid failure. And I'm just like the complete opposite. I believe we have to fail our way to success. I embrace failure. We must get through the tough things to get to the joy things. Not every time, but be willing to not give up, not quit when things get tough, because that's how things get better. By going through the tough, by going through the rough. We've had some technical difficulties with our microphones. And has there been the thought of, oh my gosh, I don't want to come because I've got this responsibility and I'm so scared it's not going to work out. And to think is to create. I thought it wouldn't work out, and there it didn't work out. And you know what? It's just a moment. It's a moment. Let's learn from the moment. Let's celebrate the moment is over, and let's get into a new moment. And if we could do that for everything, and we could stay in that creative space, Henry Ford was the one that said, whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, either way, you're right. And we must get through those failures and look at them as opportunities to learn, opportunities to grow. What's next? what's next? If we fail at becoming a lawyer or whatever it is, so what? What's next? How can I take those skills, transfer them into something else, and still live the passion, like from the teller to creating these glorious events? And I'm speaking at an event this Saturday. I've been asked to speak at another event, and my topic is what's next. And I'm very excited about it. I've just decided that right now, because I think it's so important for women at every age to recognize that there's always going to be a what's next. It doesn't matter if you're 14 or 114. There's a what's next if you allow it.
Yes.
I love that.
Oh,
And I
me
love the
too.
fact that I just wanted to also add, yes, flow is good. Yes, flow, it feels like it's not work, but sometimes it also feels like it is a lot of work. Like, sometimes you love doing something 90% of the time. For example, I love being a dentist, but I don't love managing people. I love talking to patients, but I don't love firing people or hiring people. So I think with everything, yes, there is a
yes.
passion. Yes, we love doing what we do. I think also allocating,
Delegating.
finding, surrounding yourself. I hate numbers. I hate accounting. So get an accountant. You don't have to do everything yourself. I have a lawyer. I have an accountant. I have a manager for my office now. Now my life is happy because you can concentrate on the aspect of the job that you love, and maybe. And when you're starting out, maybe I was all of that. I was my own accountant. I was my own lawyer. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I was my own payroll company. So everything wasn't what I loved. But as you grow and you realize which part of what you're doing you love, you allocate, you give to other people. We gave to Tom today all the responsibility of miking us, and we loved it. Honestly, today was one of the most joyful days we came to work because the IT part was taken care of. So surround yourself with people that can help you, ask for help, and invest in people that this is their expertise, I guess.
And be willing to do the work until you get there. Be willing to don't quit and give up because you're going to throw up on the way to becoming an astronaut. Your body will adapt.
Yeah.
If you allow your mind to get through it, your body will adapt.
That's right. Yeah. And let's not believe we're ever invisible. Like, I really believe that, let's not
100%.
fall for that, because that's something out there, and I don't believe in it. And I really believe that if anyone's going to believe that women in their 40s, 50s, and older are no longer valuable in society, you are missing out the most amazing assets in your boardrooms, in your organizations, corporations. We come with so much experience, wisdom, negotiation skills, management skills, creativity, resilience. And these are the people you want running your corporations. These are the women
100%.
because we've been through it all. There's nothing we can't do.
Yeah.
And whoa, you're really selling yourself short if you are looking at women in their 40s, 50s, and older and saying, "Yeah, I don't think so." Wow, you're really going to miss out on some incredible talent and a resource, right? So we are not invisible.
No.
Heck no.
100%.
No.
But what you say is so true because it happened to a friend of mine. She worked for Nordstrom for years. Amazing. She knew how to sell. She knew how to dress you. She knew everything.
Yeah.
And Nordstrom obviously closed and left Canada. So she was like, what should I do? What should I do? And I said, go to dentistry, take a 3-month course, and you will have everyone wanting to hire you. And she said the same thing. What do people, I thought people would want to hire younger people, in their 20s, 30s. What use would I be to? I said, take the course. I'll be the first to hire you with the best, because you're right. All of those things you said, her experience, the fact that she knows how to sell, the fact that she knows how to talk to public, resilience.
Yes.
100%. Don't think for a minute, if I had my choice, I would, well, you're not allowed to say how old are you to hire you, but the women in their 50s and 60s and 70s, we want you. This is the age we want.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah, of course.
And they have so many tricks up our sleeve.
Yes.
Yeah.
So many tricks up our sleeve because we've seen it, done it, been there, done that.
Yeah.
And so when a situation arises, we're like, I've got an answer for that.
Mhm.
That's what we have. That is what we have.
Yeah.
Tricks up our sleeves.
Yeah. We can't shortchange ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
We have to walk into a room knowing I'm it. I am it. Like I've come into this space and you don't even know what you're getting. You know, there is so much talent, skill, creativity. We have to own that.
Yeah.
And the minute we own it, our energy just goes, whoa. And, you know, there's people will feel it.
Mm-hmm.
People will be drawn to that and say, who are you? What do you know? What are you about? Tell me about your experience. And it's the world is ours for the taking.
100%.
Yeah.
And I would just like to do a final shout out to a woman who I admire, Diane Hampson. She dresses well. She has the energy. She's always reinventing herself. And never once have I heard that woman say, I know it all. And that is an asset that is incredible. I think right there, all of you are right in saying this is where it's at. We're feeling comfortable in our own skins, and it's wonderful to be this age.
The best.
The best.
The bomb.
We want to say thank you for tuning in again to the Ladies in Power podcast. I'm leaning over here and my mic is over here. And oh my gosh, what a fantastic conversation I've had again with you, spectacular ladies. And thank you for getting curious about me and for sharing about you. We are getting to know each other in the process of you getting to know us, which is just the beauty of it all. And be courageous with whatever it is you want to be, do, have. Get out there, say yes, and just know that you have so much value, whatever your age is. When you discover the value in you, others will discover it too. And so with that,
thank you.
And
see you next time. The views shared on this podcast reflect our personal experiences and opinions. This content is not a substitute for professional advice. Please consult a qualified expert for any medical, legal, or mental health concern. If this conversation spoke to you, please follow the Ladies in Power podcast and leave us a review. Your voice helps more people find this sisterhood and these conversations. Together we rise. And remember, your voice matters here.